Hey everybody, this is Pete from the Spin Rack, and we also have
Calvin Ellis, ready to rock.
it's a long time coming. We haven't done Loki season 2. I haven't even watched this. So have you watched it yet, Cal?
Loki season two?
Get a trailer.
The trailer? No. At first, I thought you were going to tell me that the series is out.
No, not yet. Definitely not yet. So here we go.
What I'm about to tell you is going to be hard to believe again. I've been pulled through time between the past and the present and the future.
Everything is turning to
That's right.
Don't overthink it.
Round, and around we go. All right. Again.
What the hell? I gotta.
Round.
What do you say?
About this?
Yeah, about this. It's
It,
out in it's out in another 2 weeks.
it's the Sylvie and Loki show, mostly featuring Sylvie. What is this? This is Why is this even called Loki? He bears no resemblance to the character that we've seen over the course of all these films. This was a show that was found a really it found an audience. They really enjoyed it, and they're staying in line with this. I'm looking at this. I have no idea what this is at all. Even when they have the appearance of Kang in there, and he's somehow now he's doing the Mozart hair, and he's a conductor. Uh, I can't remember the actor's name. I think that Short Round is in the movie. So, look, rather in the TV series. What is this? What I mean, you're calling it Loki. Let's say I never saw Loki season one. I didn't get around to it, and all I remember is Loki from the films. What the hell is this?
Well, and obviously that was rhetorical, so I'm not answering that question. I'll add on to what you're saying. Well, first say that everything, everywhere, all at once, was success, and obviously, the actor who was in there was incredible in it. Don't just start casting them in here just because, hey, we want to show. He should have been in this thing in the first season. But anyway, I don't say apart from. I will coincide with what you're saying and say that we lost what Loki is, and then his alternate, alternate Loki is not Loki at all. It's this tortured character. Now, if you go not even just the comic book Loki, like go to the actual Loki. Like you got to put him in this thing where he's just messing things up a million times over and putting himself near death. Like the whole idea. I woke up and decided to cut Sif's hair off. Like, come on! Like, he's not having no fun. Loki is the first thing, what was it? The line in the Simonson run? And they said, Odin says for Asgard. It was like for Midgard. And then Loki, for myself.
Yeah, that,
That's
that's
Loki.
that's Loki. I don't know what this is.
So they taken the actor, and he does a good job in there, but most of the time he's had this shock reaction of being surprised to see all the stuff. And now this is a holdover from when we saw him in Ragnarok, where he watches the Hulk fighting Thor, and he has a shock look. But they're like, let's bring Loki out. Yes, he got his comeuppance in Ragnarok. Now we need to see some Loki stuff because we're not seeing that sort of thing. It's like you ever see Unforgiven, right? Where he tries to change and all that stuff. And then he gets in the end and you see what gave him the edge. He's drinking the alcohol. And he goes back to I want, as much as I like the rest of it, I want the whole Unforgiven to be him being the old guy, not the guy who is trying to not do what he live how he lived before. But it's still obviously a great movie. But Loki is Loki. We don't need to see him. Ultimately, the Loki that got the jumped through time and got the Tesseract, right? He took the Tesseract and slipped out and slipped out of the timeline and whatnot. That's the old school Loki, not a Loki that's been through everything, all the other stuff happened, and he's been not even reacting like the way Wolverine would be. He's just been kind of like this going through Disney World. Look at all these sights. Look at all this crazy stuff, and the tech obviously is not the what's the name that Simonson was doing, because it was. I wish they would put some of that in there because it was a really cool visual. But that would be going. If you saw other trailer, that would be going to the Sailor Moon, Rebel Moon type of graphics in here. You got the real TVA, but they've been kind of like playing this up to whatever thing that they use for the production design. But I thought the Simonson thing was pretty solid. So, and I saw it in another story. I think it might have been a Disney thing. Where it was just like, well, this right here is what the TVA looks like, and
No, it doesn't.
what do you mean?
No, no, no. I'm just playing. I'm just being disagreeable at the end of the day because I don't like the show.
So, any other thoughts on Loki season 2?
This okay. If we go back to what you established, where Loki
Uh-oh.
finds the Tesseract, he finds the Tesseract, and then he disappears. So, because some of the argument I've heard is that, oh, well, this Loki's different because he's a variant. I'm like, a variant of what? He was the same dude from right there, and he disappears with the Tesseract. So either one or two, we still see Loki. Okay, we still see Loki. All the stuff in the Avengers still played out. All of that stuff still played out at the end of the day. So unless the timeline couldn't have been changed, so at some point he has to return to the timeline. This can't be a variant. So reaction, the reaction that he has to all of this stuff is is kind of queer. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And then, aside of the fact that people enjoyed it and they want to see a season 2, what the heck what was the purpose of this? I thought initially the purpose was to, they had Kang, and Kang, they did the debuted here. But aside of that, what do we get in the season 2? Why do we still have this Sylvie character around here? Why can't Loki do any of the stuff that he did previously? And he didn't necessarily get a comeuppance in Infinity War. He was killed.
Mm-hmm.
So his story effectively was over, but everybody loves Loki. They love Tom Hiddleston. So they're like, okay, let's find, we can put him in this. Okay, but what the hell is going? What again? What is going on? What is going on? I checked. I mean, I saw the whole. But this was the series that let me know. Okay, these TV series are gonna these are not connected to comics at all. They're doing their own thing. They I think Feige was like, look, do whatever you like. I got to get ready for the next phase of that type of stuff. And there was no cohesivity from the films to the TV shows to the comic, none of that stuff that made the run up to Endgame such a rewarding experience. So now I'm looking at this, I'm like, what am I supposed to be getting out of this? And then for the people who I've talked to who do enjoy it, it's solipsistic because they just like it because they like it. It doesn't really have to connect to anything for them, but it's not a reason for me to watch it other than we need to review it.
Well, that the other part of it is the success of it, which you just mentioned, is that a lot of people look at this and they connected with the storylines and it being not, I don't know, I guess in their mind, non Marvel Studios type of thing, and having some of these little interesting stuff and obviously great performances, more so by Jonathan Majors than anyone else in my mind. But to everyone else, they of course connected with Sylvie, and for some reason, and but it's just there's bits that a lot of people like. That's the one that I've heard a lot of people come back and be like, this is the one that they like for some reason. So feels like it because it was unmarvel. So this is the one that got its well, it got its another series. I guess the other success would be the Falcon or Captain America as he's being called. So this is the thing that was actually successful. So the people have spoken, but they haven't spoken for Loki, and for a character would be so much fun screwing up the multiverse if they give him a chance to. And being the thorn in the time traveler side, and then you could bring in some other characters that that would be fun for Marvel, but it probably costs too much money to put characters in there, because we found out that this was like Justice Peace. The one of these guys is Justice Peace here, and you're just like, wait a second, well, where's the outfit? Where's this? Or any other time traveling character that's in Marvel that you could use, but they're not going to spend any money on that. They're obviously looking at the trailer. Let me just go back to it. They did put a lot of money into the effects, so I can't say anything bad about that. But you can see so much stuff is happening in this thing. And there's a Thor character. Thor characters in there. What's that character? Slow it down. Yeah, Zaniac. That's that's a Thor villain that was somewhere after 300 where I think he shows up, and then Walter Simonson decided to use that character as a we bring him back, but do in a different form where he was even scarier, where he was kind of like funky like that. But Walter Simonson brought him back and made him even wilder. So we got one Thor villain in here, but you can see some money has been put into this type of thing with there's a lot of stuff put into this thing. So, but I think the hard part is we lost the character of Loki at the same time. So, look at him. He's basically an upstanding. I'm trying to think of what spinoff where they took the character and changed. I know in comic books, like in the Quicksilver comic book, they took him and he was unlike Petro at all. So, and they made him more like a leading guy, which kind of lost everything that was fun with Petro, so. This kind of thing happens, but I think when you try to do this, you do stuff like the way Frasier was done, where Frasier is this intelligent guy that's at the same time that in the core of his person, he's not all put together, and that's where the fun part of his character. And they kept that going into his TV show, putting him with his brother and his father. Now they're trying to do that same dynamic with Frasier and his son. So they're trying to have Frasier just be Frasier. And I think it's a dynamic that worked, but it keeps the character. And this, they haven't kept the character. Sometimes you can see, I guess the closest I go to is when, it's not even, I got to think of it, but ultimately it kind of destroyed, our favorite Loki, or our favorite Loki from the Norse myths. So, to make this character who's been, the hero thing. And this is constantly what you can happen. Again, that's it. Bart Sears was talking about working on Eclipso with Keith Giffen. And he was like, yeah, this is great. Keith, you've done a ton of things, is doing a villain. I thought I was totally signed up to do that. But then when we got to the series, Eclipso isn't the lead. It's the regular guy who's chasing after him. And that's one of the things you kind of lose when you have this sort of thing where it's just like they didn't lose Loki, but we lost his character. So I wish I had a TV show in mind where the spinoff where they totally changed the character. But anyway, any last thoughts?
No.
All right then. Without us saying anything, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to check this out. So, spin a rack,
Check us out on the next video where we find out who would win in the fight, Bruce Lee or Michael Jai White. We're out.
They're not doing.